our buses were lined up next to each other, right? And Larry goes, "Hey man, don't ever put that guy on me." Right?
And he says, "Man, that's an insult. What you guys just did to me." Like, what you mean? That's an insult. He says, "You guys put a white boy on me."
Bird as the biggest shit talker back in the 80s.
Right.
But we had Worthy on our show. We had AC on the show. And we had Coop on the show.
Uh-huh.
They said it's the Three Musketeers. It was the Three Musketeers that started all of that back in the 80s.
So let me tell you what has happened.
Weber slid into the back seat, still wide-eyed from the idea of practicing against his idols before he could even adjust his tie. Larry turned his head slow, gave him that deadpan look, and dropped a line so casual it felt like a weather report. "You know you ain't touching the ball today." Right? Weber laughed, half confused, waiting for the punchline. There wasn't one. Bird leaned back, folded his arms, and said it again, even flatter. "Not one shot, not one rebound, you might as well just tell you." Coach, you rode along for the sightseeing by the time the limo door shut. Weber wasn't thinking about matchups or rotations. He was wondering if he'd survive practice without catching permanent PTSD. And when the scrimmage tipped off, Bird backed it up every cut Weber made. Larry was already there, every glance toward the rim. Bird reminded him out loud, "Told you don't waste your legs. This wasn't trash talk. This was psychological demolition," before Weber even broke a sweat.
I get in the car and it's Larry Bird. And I shake his hand. I'm quiet, trying to feel that balance in the car and everything. And it's the old school limo sitting in the back. And when we get out, he doesn't say much, but when we get out, he goes, "Hope you get your sleep tonight, because I'm going to bust your ass tomorrow."
Bird palms the ball, smirks, and looks past the defender like he's invisible. His eyes lock on the Knicks coach. Nice shoot, clipboard in hand, trying to look composed in the chaos of the garden. "Hey coach." Bird says loud enough for the front row to hear, "You're really wasting your time with this guy. The poor rookie hadn't even checked and yet still tugging on his warm-up pants." Still hoping to impress somebody, and Bird had already written him off like an unpaid bill. The ref blows a whistle. Bird slaps the ball, keeps going. "You might as well sit him back down. I'm dropping 30 on whoever you send. So save the kid the embarrassment. That's the thing. Most trash talk humiliates the guy guarding you." Bird humiliated entire organizations. He turned substitutions into stand-up routines a player hasn't even touched hardwood yet. And his coach is already reconsidering life choices. And the worst part, Bird never lied by the time the horn sounded. The rookie's box score looked like witness. Protection, no points. No rebounds. Just trauma.
My favorite trash talking by Larry, and Kevin was a pretty good trash talker too, but Larry was when they trash talk coaches, like when they trash talk Hubie Brown, and they're sitting there playing in Madison Square Garden, and he's just going like taking the ball out of bounds in front of their bench, so the whole bench can hear him,
Right.
And go like, "Hubie, this all you got from me tonight? Like you got no one else that can guard me? This is getting ridiculous, And then Hubie would put in like Johnny Newman would be running in the game. He goes, "Wait, are you serious? That's the guy you're putting on me?"
So the Pistons throw this fresh defender at Bird Younglegs, eager eyes, probably thinking he's about to make a name for himself by slowing down. The legend Bird takes one look, doesn't even bother to stretch his back out. He just shakes his head, then locks eyes with Isaiah. "This the best you got for me." "Zeke," he says, pointing at the poor soul now assigned to his shadow. "You're disrespecting me right now." Isaiah tries to laugh it off, tries to act like it's part of the game plan, but Bird isn't. Smiling, not even close, he walks up to the new defender, pats him on the hip like a substitute teacher, and says, "Son, you better call for help. They just threw you to the wolves." And then it begins: fade away, jumper, elbow, post up, three ball, bucket after bucket after bucket. Each one punctuated not by Bird talking to his man, but by Bird looking straight at Isaiah. Every shot was basically him saying, "This is on you. Zeke, you sent him. You insulted me. Now you're gonna watch him drown by halftime." The kid looked like he'd aged 3 seasons, and Isaiah, he just shrugged. Because what could he do? He knew he'd handed Bird a reason. And Larry never wasted reasons. This wasn't just about scoring. This was Bird putting it on record if you dared to disrespect him with the wrong matchup. He wasn't going to punish the player. He was going to punish the leader who signed off on it.
We walk out on the court, and Vincent is guarding Larry, right? And Larry looks at me and he was calling me cheesy. He goes, "Cheesy, like you putting him on me?" You put him on me? I was like, that's all I got, man. That's all I got right now. And he goes, I'm taking right down to the baseline. I'm shooting right over him. So after the game, our buses were lined up next to each other, right? And Larry goes, hey, man, don't ever put that guy on me.
Coop was no slouch. He wasn't just some rotation guy off the bench. This was Michael Cooper, the Lakers' defensive ace, the guy Magic trusted to put a body on legends. But to Larry, Defensive Player of the Year was just another resume line to shred. So before the ball even goes up, Bird leans over and says, deadpan as a priest reading last rites. Coop, you know they made a mistake, right? They should have sent somebody else. And then he tells him not hint, not suggest, flat out calls a shot baseline jumper same spot. Same motion, first play. He says ball goes in. Celtics run the set, and just like he promised, Bird drift to the corner. Raises up, Cash doesn't blink. Doesn't celebrate, just jogs back like he'd written the script hours earlier. Cooper tightens up at just next possession. He bodies Bird harder. Fights through the screen. Contest doesn't matter, same spot, same shot, net barely moves by the third possession. Coop knows what's coming but can't stop it. Bird wants him to know, wants a Lakers sideline to hear it, wants Pat Riley sweating under that slick back hair, and here's the kicker. Bird keeps calling out loud, right here. Coop again same. Place watched this like he's hosting a shooting clinic on national TV. Only the subject is humiliation. By the end of the quarter, Cooper wasn't just chasing Bird around screens. He was chasing ghosts because every time Larry said it, he meant it, and every time he meant it. The scoreboard lit up. This wasn't just shot making. This was psychological demolition. Bird turned a finals matchup into a personal seminar titled, Don't You Dare Think Your Best Defender Is Enough.
I'll give you one story that he told me. We're playing in 1985. And he's coming down and he looks at me and he goes, Coop, I'm getting ready to wear your ass out. So I get in my best defensive stance and he's on the bottom and Robert Parrish comes down to set a pick on him. And Larry goes off the pick and I fight through the pick and I'm there. And as soon as he catches the ball, he turns and he goes up. And Kareem, knowing that, Kareem steps off of Parrish, so we got him. And I'm saying to myself, I got this fucker, man. I got him. I'm getting ready to pack his shot. So we both go up, Kareem and I, and Larry's up in the air. And I don't know how he got this ball between our hands, but he hits Robert Parrish with a great pass, and Parrish scores. And as Parrish scores, we're going down the court. He said, I told you, mother.
Looks him dead in the eye and delivers the line, I've got 2 goals tonight, drop 40. And make sure you remember me forever. And then he goes to work fadeaways, post-ups, pull-ups, every trick in the book. Dominique isn't just guarding a player. He's guarding a storm by the end of the night. Bird didn't just hit his target. He exceeded it. Dominique later admitted it wasn't the points that broke him. It was a commentary. Every shot came with a reminder. Every bucket of punchline that was Larry Bird, the trash talk, was never separate from the game. It was a game he didn't just want to beat you, he wanted to write the story of. The beating, narrate it while it happened, and leave you with a memory you couldn't shake for Dominique. That memory came on day one.
One of the things the first thing, I think really the only thing he said to me, I'm guarding him, my first play, he's coming down the court and I'm guarding him. He looks at me, he said, I don't know why they have you guarding me, Holmes. And he shoots the 3. Now, I wasn't upset he made the 3. I said, but this son of a gun just called me Holmes.
Not Larry. He looks right at Doc and says, I'm getting the ball. I'm shooting it right here. And there's nothing you can do about it. The ball comes in one dribble. Pull-up splash, just like he ordered. Doc later admitted he didn't even feel embarrassed about the bucket. What stuck with him was the arrogance of the script. Bird wasn't improvising. He was publishing the playbook in real time, handing you the spoiler before the scene, and then acting it out flawlessly. That's a difference most. Players talk after they make the shot. Bird talked before. Because for him, the result wasn't in question. It wasn't a contest. It was a prophecy, and if you were unlucky enough to be guarding him, you weren't a defender, you were just an audience member to the inevitable.